Hi everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. And this mess that you're looking at is partially cleaned up. I had debris all the way back here in the garage, and I'm sure there's more. I'm gonna have to get the leaf blower out and just try and dust this place out. Working on some media blasting today, and I wanted to get a few notes down that might help save you guys some money and some time and, well, an earful of media like I had. So a lot of guys still call it sandblasting, but I think everybody at this point knows that sand, when it's sprayed like this through a blaster, releases silica, which is pretty bad for your lungs. So don't use that. Don't go down to the beach and grab a bucket load of sand, because at some point in your life you probably will regret it. This is aluminum oxide, and again, I don't think you want to be breathing any of this stuff, so use a good respirator style mask while you're spraying it. A good face shield will keep the vast majority of it out of your eyes, but pretty much everything else on you is going to get covered when you spray it the way I did, using a Harbor Freight portable blaster. I've definitely come to decide, after using this thing about a half a dozen times, that it was meant for guys who just don't want to recover their media, and 50 pounds of aluminum oxide is around $40 at Harbor Freight. So yeah, you don't really want to spray it once and be done, because I had to refill the tank twice out of the blue tote there that I was using to capture some of it. So that could get expensive real quick, because all I was blasting was a Homelite 2000, and it was already disassembled and pretty much ready to go. So anyway, this creates a hell of a cloud of dust. I'm sure the neighbors thought I was nuts, and, well, wished I wasn't their neighbor there for a little while. This one is the 40-pound portable model. It has some pluses and minuses. If you decide one of these is what you want, plan on the valves going bad. The only one on this that still works is the media inlet valve down there and the first air inlet. Anything that is subject to the media going through it, like even the blaster tip, those valves fail almost immediately. I didn't get one tank through it before it started to fail, so something to keep in mind. But other than that, for the price you pay for one of them, it's, I suppose, acceptable. Again, this goes all the way out under my pickup there, across the lumber. We're going to find out if aluminum oxide's bad for the grass, because I'm sure some of this is going to get blown in there, but most of it's going to get swept up, and I'm going to screen it, get all the garbage out of it here, and it will go back in the tank, and it will spray again. Yeah, and this hasn't been cleaned off. I need to hose this off. The handle, that kind of vinyl coating that's on there, it didn't want to touch that real well. Part of that's because the compressor I'm running is undersized to this application. It does not put out the CFM that it needs to. But in a way that's good, because the 80 grit, or excuse me, 70 grit aluminum oxide, I think you can leave that, or see that, it leaves a pretty rough texture there. The first time I used it, I was afraid that I'd actually ruined parts, but a good self-etching primer that acts as a filler, 2 coats of that, 2 coats of paint, and then a coat of clear coat. Tell you what, this thing's going to look brand new. And as for that handle, I'm going to have to go back to the benchtop grinder and do it the old-fashioned way with a wire wheel and take it off that way and put some paint back on. But anyway, folks, this was about a half hour. Definitely needed a shower when I was done with this, so I'm going to get this mess cleaned up, get those parts washed off, get them on the bench, and yeah, next step is paint.